He said, can you send me $5,000? And I said, yeah, of course, I can help you. I remember he looked at me, he goes, I'm sick, I'm broke, you want to marry me still? I said, I don't care if you're sick and broke. I love you for you, and we're getting married. She says, hey, I've been wanting to reach out to you for some time, but did you know that your ex owes my husband $200,000? And
with us to our very first modeling gig together with the Ritz-Carlton. Y'all, we were so excited for this. This was also Martin's first time modeling, which I knew he was going to crush it because, come on, he already looks like a model. We started out the day taking shots at the pool, sipping some refreshing drinks, and you can't see it in these videos, but the sweat was dripping, y'all. We literally were fighting the urge to jump headfirst into the pool. The team we worked with was amazing, and they kept hyping us up, and Martin was like, I could get used to this model life. But in all honesty, we felt so natural, and I know all the shots and videos they got are going to turn out so great. They asked me for a solo moment by Martin, so I channeled my inner Tyra Banks the best I could because modeling is obviously not something that I do very often. After the pool shots, we went back to the room to change into our second look for the next portion of the shoot at Fairings, which if you haven't been, the food is so bomb. Like, seriously, bury me in my grave with one of those lobster rolls, please and thank you. We spent so much of the shoot laughing and just having fun, and this day really served as a reminder to try to find joy in everything you do, especially with the people you love. Not me whispering in Martin's ear about how I can't wait to have more of the lobster roll. We finished off the shoot with two of our favorite things, wine and dessert. I swear, Martin almost ate his whole dessert before they finished getting the shots. It was so funny. I cannot wait to see the results, and we've already scheduled our staycation because the vibes were really that great. After the shoot was done, we spent the rest of the afternoon in the pool, and it was the perfect. That motherfucker took $30,000 from me. Keep in mind, he still owes me $6,000 at this point. He said, can you send me $5,000? After some time, he talks me into loaning him the $15,000. I end up loaning him an additional $3K, not even a week after I had already given him $15K. I remember I gave him like a small amount, maybe like $3,000. We ended up going to Portugal for a week. We used my credit cards the majority of this trip. Your ex owes my husband $200,000. And I saw that there was a cash advance for $7,000. My little sister looks at me and she says, he took $3K from me. I find another friend that he owed $10,000 to. My coworkers that I used to work with, husband gave him $10,000 to. And what was in his account? 34 cents.
Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Amomi, aka Petite Diva, and in this video we're discussing Danish deception. Now, if you don't know Danish deception or what Danish deception is all about, it's basically a story time from a lady who was talking about how a Danish husband deceived her, and she just gave a long story time about what happened in their relationship and their marriage. It's about 27 or 28 parts, and it's going viral on TikTok. Now, I have not watched the whole thing because it's 27 parts or 28 parts, and I don't think I have the time to watch it. But I've been seeing a lot of reaction from people, and that's what this whole video is all about. We're going to check out the reaction of people to a story, what people think about our own part in the whole deception and the part of the husband in the whole deception, and basically just hear what people have to say about the whole story and their family and everything. So we're going to check what people have to say about the whole story, the whole situation, and then I'll come back to share my thoughts. Now, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are not yet subscribed and you like videos such as this, please consider subscribing by clicking on the red button that says subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell notification icon by the side so you're notified anytime I upload videos. Now let's get into this video.
Danish deception. One thing I do feel we the viewers are being a little bit deceived out of is the fact that this man is 10 to 15 years older than her. She doesn't post the pictures, but they're very, very easy to find. And yeah, that's a man in his 40s if I've ever seen one. Yeah, early, mid, I would guess. And if not, should have scammed some people out of some skincare. Because it's one thing to give a loan to a peer, another an elder. Because what do you mean that you're a man in his 40s who says he's a millionaire and you need money from me? You think a millionaire couldn't come up with $6,000 from their assets to be able to move those around to come up with $6,000? If you need $6,000, you're not a millionaire. I'm not a millionaire. I need $6,000, okay? And that's why he was able to so easily be like, oh, I went to the Olympics, because she would have been a child. Like, I'm sorry. Like, and oh, it's blonde hair, blue eyes. Run. Like, I'm telling you. Blonde hair, run. Fast. Away. Run away. Like, no, like, this old man deceived you. And that's what hurts me the most.
Few thoughts on the Danish deception as someone who's been out in the world and know that there are plenty of men out there just waiting to scam girls like Onyeka. If a guy says that he has money, he will not ask you for money because he has his own money. Also, the part of the story that just really bothered me was the fact that literally after I said, oh, I'm going to ask my dad for money, and then he went and called her and said that his dad told him, I'm not going to give you money because you've been irresponsible with money. And then she gave him $6,000. I was like, wait a second. His own father, he told you this. This was like literally a mess up on his part. He told you that his own father doesn't think that he's responsible with money. And so then you gave him $6,000 to borrow. Girly. And it's one of those things where it's like some people are easier to be scammed than others. I'm not trying to blame her because I feel like at some point some people just are ready for love, and for whatever reason she was just really like a little bit desperate for love. I feel like a lot of us has been a little bit on the desperate side, maybe not to the point where we're getting scammed, but to some point. Okay, so it's just very obvious that she was a bit desperate for love because she was missing all the red flags, and I think her brain was purposefully missing them because at one point she said, I wasn't really worried about the money. Maybe I should have been. Yeah, you should have been. Also her talking about, oh, maybe this is a bachelor trauma. Yeah, maybe get some therapy for this. Also, it's one of those things where like, we don't have to share everything online. I'm glad you did because it was very interesting, but like, we don't have to.
If the Danish deception and girly pop had been Asian, the commentary would have been completely different. Everybody would have been like, oh my God, it's not a crime to fall in love. She would have been given the Risa Tisa treatment. Everybody would have felt so sorry for her. But no, Onyeka is Nigerian American, and both Black American women and African women have taken her to task. They've been like, you worship whiteness, this is the price you pay. You were being a pick-me-sha, and this is what you get. If she had been Asian, I anticipate that there would have been a lot of comments from Asian men being like, Oxford study, Oxford study. That's inherently misogynistic to say Oxford study. And it's not really helpful because it just invites a lot of hate comments and doesn't really help people investigate their internalized white supremacy. But all the Asian women, y'all would have just been like, it's not terrible to fall in love. It's not a crime. So what, are you all just against race mixing now? My white husband would never. And actually, the thing is that there are thousands of Asian Onyekas bending over backwards, giving away their entire finances to be with some mediocre white man. It's just that our culture's a little bit different and encourages us to suffer in silence. So many Asians just don't give a shit. I will turn over your body, your bank account, your language, your food, your community. You will turn it all over to the white man. And then your only justification for that will be, but love is beautiful, segregation is bad.
Seeing Black women across the diaspora call out Onyeka, the so-called victim in the Danish deception.
If y'all haven't watched it, it's called The Danish Deception. It is a 28-part series of a young lady giving her experience about dating this Danish man who ends up basically scamming everybody. But the crazy part is, how do we let that happen? And the Asian lady is talking about how they in their community, part of having a white man is the lure. They tell us who they are every single day, white men. We know that there could be the smallest possibility that they might cut us up, put us in tiny pieces, put us in the refrigerator and store us for eating later on. That they could do the most heinous things, that they could rob our grandparents, our cousins and sisters, and take them for every single red cent that they had. We know who they are, but for some reason we trust them because they are white. That is crazy to me. People say, I don't trust Black people, I don't trust you. How could you trust them sleeping with the enemy? Are you crazy? Asian women with white people? Every Asian country I could think of has been destroyed. And the fact that she brought that white man to the Nigerian village, they should have jumped her. They should have jumped both of them, for real. Like, what? What were you thinking? As long as you're happy, do what you want to do. It's not racism in my mind. I'm not thinking of it like a hate thing. I'm just thinking of a bizarre, self-destructive thing. Like, why would you do that to yourself? I digress. Listen to her story. Hopefully it helps somebody else to not get caught up in the hype. My name is Dr. Goldie, and this is my opinion. Follow me for more political gossip and cultural opinions.
All I need to say about the Danish deception is, as a Hispanic, we gossip way too much. Like, there's no way your husband would go around asking people for money and nobody would have found out. Like, if we had somebody like in the family, like a husband going around asking people for money, everybody would have found out. That sister would have told the mother, the cousin, the uncle,
family in Mexico would have known. Family in California, family, random places would know. Like, everybody would know. It would basically be a Facebook post. Might as well go Facebook Live. Tell everybody.
Onyeka, black women don't hate you and you know it. We simply see the self-hate reeking. And we're not the only people that see it. The Asians, the Muzungus, the Kawaja, Caucasians see it all. Let us go. Let us go from this lie, the shackles that we don't like you and we're giving you flack. No, we're holding you accountable. Release us now. Or perhaps maybe your masters should release you. Because the master is in your head, clearly.
So after watching the Danish deception video, because I was jobless today, right? I saw a lot of people giving this girl, like, taking a piece and just insulting this girl. And I was like, okay, you know what? Let me just check who this girl is. And the first thing I did was to go check her LinkedIn to see she was mentally switched on. And right off, all I saw was like someone who has a master's degree in accounting, worked in a big four, KPMG to be precise, and she was a manager, for crying out loud. Like, to become a manager in one of the big fours is incredibly difficult. And she did this before 30 in a very key position like this. Like, see what she was doing. So those ladies asking the question, not to victim blame, but those questions that you actually know what you were doing, yeah, I think I buy it. She knew what she was doing. Like, to be fair, like,
I've been saying, why is nobody mentioning the fact that Onyeka gave this man a green card? It's not that we're not mentioning it, it's that there's too much shame to address. So, you know, certain things have to kind of be left behind. So I'm going to quickly talk about it and just quickly say that personally for me, as an Irish passport holder, I cannot even give a British passport holder free reign in Europe again with my passport. I cannot do it. I cannot marry a man who will be looking, I don't even give a heck. Talkless of meeting somebody 4 months and then I give them green card. That's like me today. I meet somebody and I say, oh, you know, I have an Irish passport. It's quite a hefty passport. Do you want that? Why the heck would I give you my passport? You know what my parents suffered to get me that passport? You know the trials and tribulations they went through so I could be a Irish passport holder? You want to come and just sweep in 4 months. Stupid and stupidest. Anyway, Sha, I just said, let me quickly. I want to be quick because let's be, you know, leaving some things aside. It's not everything we should be louding too much. I feel like we have overlouded this topic.
Danish deception, part 22.
Or should I say, part insanity. Because what you mean your sister gave him 3 bands? What kind of family are y'all? In what type of family your man has your dad's number? Your man calling your daddy behind your back to ask for money? And your dad is like, oh, it's fine, I'm going to give it to you. And you asking your dad if the man scammed him? And your dad is saying, don't even worry about it, sir. What do you mean don't even worry about it, sir? We're trying to find out. How much money did you give that man, sir? And it's not just the family. Friends, too. Every single person in Onyeka's life has given that white man some money. At this point, hey, we need to talk to the dog. I'm pretty sure the dog also gave him money. All this talk about, yeah, it's not because it's white, it's because it's white. If one of the cousins, one of the Nigerian cousins, came to them asking for 3 bands, are they gonna give 3 bands to their cousins? I don't think so.
I'm going to be really honest. I didn't care about that Danish deception story until I saw her come out and say that black women and her community are bringing her down and what happens to uplifting people in the community. Let me tell you something. Your community, her direct, immediate community looks nothing like her. So to call out to the black women to talk about uplifting her and bring, like, you know, community, they are not part of your community. They are not part of your community. Black women are not part of her community. So for her to come out so tone deafly and say, oh, they're bringing me down. I heard someone say on this app that I'm so sure that she's going around saying, yeah, this is why I don't have friends that are black women. I really don't care for her story. Honestly, from my perspective, at first I was like, let's not victim blame. You know, anyone can be manipulated. But when you are so desperate for love, when you are so desperate to overlook all of these red flags, you have to take some responsibility as well. And she evidently doesn't want to be held accountable. It's just very invigorating that she wants to come for black women talking about where's the community, what happened to uplifting. You don't uplift black women. You don't have any black women in your circle. In fact, Like many people have said, if this was a black man and he asked you for money a couple weeks in, okay.
Used to be close friends with Onyeka and even went on a double date with her and her ex-husband. When we were friends, I told her to be careful of that man, and it seemed too good to be true. And he was suspicious, and she wanted to hear nothing of it.
Quack, 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 quack! Breaking news! The mystery has now been solved. I freaking told you guys. I told you there is nothing new under the sun, and human beings are so fucking predictable. I told you that they would have been friends that would have given her the real. There would have been friends that would have warned her, and chances are she cut them off. She said she was legally blind and she cut them off, okay? And lo and behold, a friend has come forward, and that is exactly what happened. This is why I say, yeah, that your experiences, while they may be painful, they are not unique. They're not unique. When you get warnings from people that are more experienced in life than you, or when you see a story on TV, etc., you have to take wisdom, like learn from other people's circumstances, because there is nothing new under the sun.
If this guy had been a Nigerian prince, the response would have been totally different. Martin has given us a unique opportunity to flip around the whole Nigerian prince scam history, but we're too busy focusing on the wrong things. We're all talking about how Onyeka allowed her white-centeredness to blind her and how she made all the wrong decisions. That's true. But if we are actually bashing this girl more than the guy, how are we any different? Imagine being Martin and logging into TikTok to follow up on how the story is going. And every time you open TikTok, all you see is people bashing Onyeka and how she was naive, how she was this and that. And almost nobody's talking about you. Imagine how you would feel. He's probably out there like, oh, I got away with this. Let me look for my next victim. We should be focusing on who this guy is, who his friends are. We should be having stories of people coming out talking about, hey, I met Martin 3 years ago and this is what he did. This is what he didn't do. We need his friends coming out to talk about, I've known Martin for years and he's not like that. Or I've known Martin for years and he's exactly like that. We need all the drama to surround this guy and not the other way around. We're focusing on the wrong things.
My politically incorrect take on the Danish deception. There's no amount that I wouldn't pay to see a 1 hour minimum conversation between these three people. I would give anything. Danish deception, Shira 7, and Dr. Umar. Okay, who could make this happen? Comment that person. Somebody could make this happen. Are we getting Make-A-Wish on this? Is this a Drewski? I feel like this would be the perfect, politically incorrect, empowering conversation to end the year 2025. And before you type any details in the comment section about what person said what person did this, I'm so sorry. I probably already know. Again, this is a very politically incorrect request, but I fear the entertainment level. Priceless.
Onyeka describing the woman that her ex was recently with as a 1 out of 10 and trying to shame her for doing sex work shows everything about why she posted this series. Suddenly, after seeing this woman, she posted an almost 30-part series on TikTok about their relationship. And this is why I said in my previous video, it's so obvious that she's done all this because she's so annoyed that she's not with him anymore. When she was with him, she was more than happy with everything that he was doing, but now that she's not with him and she's seen him even more so with someone else, she is pissed. She wants him alone, miserable, and thinking of her on the DL so they can get back together because she clearly does want that. Another trip, anyone?
You know why this Onyeka story is so fucking funny? It's so embarrassing because I can just imagine how before she made the video, she's like, yeah, I'm gonna get it back. I'm gonna tell the world how that motherfucker played me. Cause tell you the truth, Onyeka would have never left that man if he didn't find his own dignity to walk away. He felt sorry for her. That's why he left her. And she came online like, I'm gonna embarrass that bastard. You leave me? You're gonna leave me after you stole money from me? She really thought she was the one who was the victim. And imagine you came online to embarrass somebody who did you wrong. And now you're embarrassed because, well, he did you right. Oh, God, it's so funny. fucking pissed.
It's the fact that if that guy didn't leave her, if he didn't say he wanted out of that marriage, Onyeka would have stayed there. She would have stayed there. This woman was talking about, he doesn't want to leave me. It's the disease talking. She seized his passport and green cards in the hopes that it would stop him from traveling back to Denmark. And the only reason why she now wants to expose him is because he sent her a text message saying, I don't care if you tell everyone what I did. If that man hadn't left, she would still be with him till today.
So I've been watching that Danish deception, series, right? By the way, if my brows look crazy, it's because I'm currently getting them lasered off. They are eyebrow tattoos, so yeah, anyways. And you know, everybody and their mama is putting all these little think pieces on TikTok where it's like, oh, she only did it because he's white. If he was black, she would have never done this and all that stuff. Y'all, I think my girl was stigmatized. Like, let's be honest. The Bible says, who has not sinned, be the first to cast the stone. So do you want better? Who has not been stigmatized by a man, be the first to cast the stone. I'll wait. We gotta call a spade, say it as it is. It's okay, we've all been there before. It's okay. The sooner we admit it, the better. She's been saying love is a powerful drug. Love made her do this. Love made her do that. Was it love, my girl, or was it lust?
I watched somebody say that they don't think race had anything to do with what happened in the Danish deception, and I completely disagree. I don't even think race was a background detail. I think it's the structure that made this entire situation possible. Literally, the whole time I watched this 25-part series, I kept asking myself, how is this possible? How did he get away with all of this? And in the end, the only conclusion that made sense was that his race had everything to do with it. For Onyeka, this wasn't simply about being misled. It was shaped by her personal relationship to her blackness, and maybe even the racial messages she absorbed growing up in an African immigrant household. She wasn't just dealing with a man, she was dealing with years of conditioning that whiteness is safer, it's more desirable, more trustworthy. You could see it in how she was describing this man in the beginning of this series, and also how she adapted herself when she was around him. In almost every single picture that I have seen of them together, her hair was straightened. For many black women with low racial self-esteem, straightening their hair around white partners is not just a style choice. In many cases, it's an attempt to fit this Eurocentric standard that they've been taught is more acceptable and more lovable. And this conditioning doesn't come from nowhere. As an African myself, I know that many African immigrant families associate whiteness with competence. This is something I've witnessed firsthand. For example, when I was volunteering at a hospital in Ethiopia, patients would literally point out that their doctors or surgeons were white in a way to calm their nerves and also reassure themselves that the care that they were receiving would be successful. This type of automatic trust teaches children way before they even start dating that whiteness equals safety and expertise.
The damage that Danish deception story has caused for the Igbo girl community, it cannot be, it will never be fixed. I think it would take a good at least 5 to 10 years to fix the damage those videos have caused. Oh, it's Nigerian, we idolize white people. My whole life, all I heard from my traditional mother was, you need to learn to cook for your X, Y, and Z Igbo husband. You need to do this. You need to do this for your X, Y, and Z Igbo husband. It was always an Igbo man. Maybe Yoruba, by the skin of the teeth, they agreed for me to entertain a Yoruba man. Hausa would be the last thing on their mind. But now it's, we idolize white men because one dumb bitch who was raised in America, raised through her whole fucking life in America, succumbed for some nigga who looked like Lord Farquaad with a beard. Like, let's be serious. She has done so much damage. I know any Igbo girl from any respectable Igbo family who was raised in Nigeria does not idolize white men the way y'all think we do. Never that deep. It will always, if I end up getting married tomorrow, it will always be a Nigerian Igbo man. Like, let's be serious. I don't know where this we idolize white people come from. That is not true. That is not true.
One thing I can trust British girls for, this whole Danish deception thing, it can never be them. Especially Afro-British girls. What are you talking about? It can never be them. The way their brain ticks, the minute a guy say, "Oh, babes, can I have 50 quid? I'll give it back to you." Hey, the brain starts working fast. It can never, I swear to God, it can never be Afro-British girls. I'm telling you, never. Those girls, their brain is sharp. Anytime money comes into the WhatsApp group, they'll exit the WhatsApp group right now.
Okay, I have a lot of issues with the Danish deception story, but one of the things that really bothered me the most is when she says that she was actually upset with his family for not telling her that 10 years before she met him, he had a gambling addiction. Now, as soon as I heard that, that's when I was like, this is exactly why you should have never invoked the name of our good sis Risa Tisa, because you and her are nowhere near the same. I don't want to fucking hear anything about, oh, well, black women are just victim blaming or just whatever. No. We're using our common sense. You mean to tell me that you can understand how bad it would be for him to have this addiction and his family not alert you, that it was something that they were aware of 10 years prior, when you actively knew in the current present moment that he had a gambling addiction and had taken $200,000 from your friends and still didn't tell anybody in your inner circle so that he could continue to swindle other people around you out of money? Do you see that you are even worse? You are even fucking worse.
Been called the Danish deception. It should have been called the desperate American. Sorry, I said it. It should have been called the woman who was so desperate to marry that she ignored 857,000 red flags.
Didn't you say that the hateful messages was coming from black women? She doesn't appear black to me. She's not giving Mariah Carey. Black women don't hate you. We can see the self-hatred within you and we are calling it out. I don't have a read or 2 cents to give because this situation is fucking stupid. I've had a man give me his address and I'm gonna Google map a photo before I show up because I want to know what I'm dealing with. You're telling me a prince of Zamunda, bitch, do he got his own money? Huh? She looked at this man and said,
"If you're really a prince, I'll marry you."
And then gave him her money? What is wrong with your kingdom? Is it dried up?
I wanted to touch on one last thing about the Danish deception, and I want to talk about the assimilation pronunciation that Onyeka has with her name. And I saw a lot of people talking about this. Mostly people have been making fun, but I do want to kind of give a little bit more perspective as somebody who also used to live in a predominantly white area and was mostly in a white friend group. My name is very easy. It only has 5 letters, but the way that white people would make me feel so uncomfortable whenever I would tell them my name, we would stand there like shaking hands and I would say my name and they'd say what, and I'll say it again, then they say what, and then I'll say it again and then they'll say something wrong and we're still holding hands the entire time and we're like doing this awkward shake while we're going back and forth trying to get them to pronounce my name correctly. And it's very uncomfortable. And also just like in school, when teachers would pronounce your name, they would purposely butcher it. So it's like years of these things building up that make you want to assimilate because you don't want to feel uncomfortable. It's not necessarily to make them feel like it's easier. It's more so that you don't have to have those feelings.
Am I proud of this content? Of course I am. I spoke eloquently, I made sense, and I was real. Girl, Onyeka, like, it's okay just to say, you know what, guys, I was a little dumb. That was dumb of me. That's what actually like connects people to people on the internet. That's what made Risa Tisa so likable and gave her a career after this. Be so for real, girl. You know, a little bit of you like the fact that, and hope I'm not overly clocking your tea right now. I'll hold your hand when I say this. We all saw your Instagram, you know, we all see you at the end of all the photos with all your white friends. I'm sure it gave you an ego boost, you know, a social bump when you came in with this tall Danish white man that went to Europe with you in Kenwa. Now you're feeling, you know, more accepted by your white friends. Now you're feeling like, you know, your white friends are feeling like your husband is hot. Let's talk the real reality teens now. It's okay to feel like that. Like, that's not an issue, but don't act like, oh my gosh. Really? Only one man. His dog is this. His apartments are flooding. They're catching on fire. This one. The IRS is taking his money. He's going to court here. Like, auntie, even you too. You're a Nigerian girl from Dallas that goes to the village. Be so for real. You know you enjoyed a bit of the tease, and that's a part of the reason why you kept it running for so long.
I was feeling so sorry for Onyeka until like probably the last 5 installments of the Danish deception, and then she calls another woman a 1 out of 10. Onyeka, at least he paid her. You would have bought him the weed. You would have bought him the weed, and he'd still owe you for it. He paid her straight away. Let that sink in.
Now we'll see what people have to say about the whole story, about her, about the husband, about what they think was the reason why she was deceived, how people are reacting to her being deceived to that level. Because honestly, she was scammed for a lot of money. Her friends, her family. It was just like I was listening to the amount that he collected from her family and her friends, and I'm like, ha. Anyway, I would love to hear your own thoughts. Have you watched her story time? Have you listened to her story time? Or did you just get the gist of it from the reaction of people? I would love to hear what you think about the whole thing. Do you think that she willingly was deceived, or do you think that she was manipulated? I would love to hear your own comments. So please leave your comment in the comment section. Now, like I said, I've not watched the whole 27 series because I don't know. From what other people have been saying, from the reaction from other people, I've got a gist of what happened, and I'm confused. There are a lot of things that is confusing me, and I don't understand. How did he collect 200,000 from my friend? And when he was asking for the 200,000, the friend did not think to ask the lady that your husband is asking for 200,000. Then there's so many things that was just giving me like, I don't get it. He said he was an Olympian. You didn't Google it. He said he was Danish royalty. You didn't Google. It's not as if it was 1960 that somebody can lie to you. You didn't do that. And I'm like, wow. And she's Nigerian. That's another thing that just made me laugh, because the Nigerians that have been reacting to the whole story, they are very angry because they're like, you're Nigerian. You are Igbo for that matter. You go to the village, even if you've grown up in the US, you are Igbo. And for those that don't understand, most times the Igbo tribe in Nigeria, they are the ones that are really like resourceful with money. They are very business orientated. They know how to multiply their money. And for the women are not gullible. They know how to get money from their men. So they are confused. How is the reverse? In fact, I've seen some comments saying that no, she's not Igbo, that they dash her to Yoruba tribe, that she cannot be Igbo, she cannot have Igbo blood. Someone said, give us back our blood, because they don't understand how she was scammed to that level, how her family was scammed to that level, how her friends were scammed to that level. Like, he was collecting a lot of money, and it didn't raise any red flag. Now, I found out that I don't know if it's true, but from comments I've seen that was like her first real relationship, first serious relationship, and she was probably at 25 when they married, or 27 or something like that. And when I look back at the kind of lies I believed at 25, at 26, 27, I kind of give her grace, because I was not better than her in a particular kind of way. But there were some things that even at that age, there's no how it would not have caused the alarm bells to be ringing in my head, because one was the fact that he said she should quit her job. Everybody knows that I cannot be a stay-at-home wife, stay-at-home mom. I've said it several on my channel. It's not possible. It's not happening. It's not. So once somebody tells me like that, my head is already going, Mama, what's this? Mama. So it cannot happen. Once he starts asking for money, the first time, okay. Second time, third time, because especially if he is not giving back ×2 or returning the money back, there's no how I'm giving him that money, because there's no how. I'm already like, what's going on? It cannot ever happen, because there's no how it's happening. How are you collecting 3,000, 6,000, 10,000, 5,000? From where? $1,000 from where? Cannot even be possible. So those two things were my major red flag. Why didn't she see it? But then again, I checked some of our videos. I checked some of the pictures on our page, on our sister's page. I realized that her environment growing up might have caused some of that issue, some of the gullibility that she had, because our sister is also married to a white person, they seem like they grew up in a white community, so they're surrounded by white people. I saw the sisters' pictures with their friends, all white. There's like no black. It's like they're the only blacks in their community, in their friend group. So that kind of that made her mindset be all about the whiteness. And that's why she really did not think that the guy was funny until he left. Because that's another thing that people were confused about, and people are like I still bashing her about, because they're like, he left, that if he was still in the relationship, she would not realize that she was scammed or realize she was manipulated, because she was so engrossed in the fairy tale lifestyle she has built in her head concerning him and her, that she could not have let go. In fact, according to what has been said, he is the one that asked for the divorce. He's the one that left the marriage, and that she even tried to hold on to his passport to force him not to leave. And although I don't want to say that the major reason why he was able to get away with it was because she was so like being into the white supremacy kind of thing, I have to acknowledge that that is exactly why he was able to get away with it, because she, and I don't want to blame her, because she has grown up with all white, so that's what has been in her mindset. And maybe when she was growing up, she was told that black people are a particular kind of way, black people are this and that, so she never like aligned with other people. I don't know, but it's more than likely that because she feels like white race is supreme, she was sucked into that thing by herself. Someone called it Nigerian negligence. I think it was just a product of our environment, and that has affected her mindset. To the fact that she doesn't pronounce her name well, which a lot of people were offended by, because she was calling it Onyeka, which is the wrong pronunciation for Onyeka. And even as a Yoruba person, I think I can pronounce her name better than her. So it got a lot of people offended because of that. But I think it's just the whole proximity to white, being surrounded by white people, growing up with white people, having only white people as friends, and then the need to be in a interracial marriage, interracial relationship, the need to be in a relationship was what led her to what happened to her. Because I even found that she had been on several like dating shows or something. So it's just unfortunate that he got away with it, because he got away with it. If he didn't say he was leaving, he would have continued to get away with it, and she won't say anything wrong in it. That's also another reason that why she was gullible, was the fact that she thought she would be the second Meghan Markle, and that the guy was supposed to be a Prince Harry. Anyway, I don't know about that, but it's just unfortunate that the guy scammed her, scammed her family, scammed her friends, and she really didn't say anything wrong with it until he left the marriage. I think she needs to acknowledge that she herself had a part in the whole thing, that it's not entirely his fault, because he did things, but you were not smart to see it. Like, it was, I don't know, it's just so unfortunate. Anyway, I hope she realizes where she went wrong, and I hope she takes correction, but I really seriously doubt, because a lot of people have talked about the whole Danish deception. I've seen different people talk about it, different people analyze it, different people give their think pieces on it. But she was focusing on black women, because she called black women out and said that they've been harassing her, they've been bullying her, and they've been being mean to her. And I'm like, you're still having the mindset that made you a prey to a white man. Anyway, I hope she'll be able to recover her money, but I doubt. I don't know if there's any way she'll be able to collect the money back, but I hope she doesn't fall prey to another person, because she needs to work on her mindset, and she needs to work on her FBI skills, because what? He lied he was an Olympian. He lied he was a Danish royalty. He lied he was a millionaire. And nothing rang a bell in her head. Right. Yeah. Like, she's old enough to know that you don't believe everything that they say. But then again, give her grace. But then again, there's Google, there's Facebook, there's social media. Like, you can always do a little bit of background digging. Any which way, we give her grace. I would love to hear what you think about the whole situation. Do you think that she was gullible because she was naive and that she felt like he was Prince Charming? Do you think she has learned a lesson? Do you think that she has acknowledged her own part in the whole deception? Or do you think that she's still naive about the whole situation? I would love to hear your own thoughts. So please leave your comment in the comment section so that we can get this discussion popping. Now, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are not yet subscribed and you like videos such as this, please consider subscribing by clicking on the red button that says subscribe. And don't forget to click on the bell notification icon right side so that you're notified anytime I upload videos. Now, with all that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one.